Well, good morning. First and foremost, I do want to say a huge thank you to 4M. The entire 4M team has been great to work with. I'm not going to start naming names, but I remember when Joe brought this idea several months ago. You know, Joe knows my trigger, and it's Colorado and Texas, okay? That's what he mentioned. He said, well, you know, Colorado DOT has already done this. And that was the end of it for me, okay? That was mic drop. But Joe said, you know, there was a fantastic workshop done in Colorado. They brought the industry partners together, and a lot got accomplished. And I said, okay, well, we'll consider it. I've had several conversations with different industry partners, and voila, we're here. But we couldn't have done it without 4M. We couldn't have done it without our great GDOT staff, so a huge thank you. And we couldn't do this without our sponsors, so another round of applause for all of our sponsors, please. All right, and last but not least, before I get into the keynote, I do want to offer a shameless plug here. You know, it's not new for us as a utilities community in Georgia to come together, right? We do this often, but there may be some in the room who may not be familiar with it. And we do this through our Georgia Utility Coordination Council. Can I see a show of hands for everyone in the room who's a part of GUCC in some capacity? All right. So look at that. We've got a lot of folks in the room who are not a part of GUCC, but you can be, okay? So we have a spring conference that is coming up in a few weeks, the beginning of March, okay? We're gonna be in Jekyll Island, all right? Throughout the year, we have local UCC meetings in really just about every major, I shouldn't say major, in every GDOT district, there are multiple UCCs that are close and in your vicinity that you can be a part of. So really, it's an open invitation. Terry, will you raise your hand, please? Terry Roseman, she is the name, the face of GUCC, plans it all, does it all behind the scenes, and does a fantastic job at it. So if you want to get plugged in and you don't know how, Terry Roseman will be able to point you in the right direction, okay? All right. And I told Terry that I would give this shameless plug, and I don't want to get in trouble with Terry Roseman, okay? So there you go. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the keynote this morning. And I want to, Justin kind of shared, the theme for us being here today is under the banner of Build Better Together. All right, but I don't think that we can truly appreciate that unless we talk about some of the great things that we're doing in this state and the reason why we're here. So I want to just touch on a few things. I'm going to share some data points. You know, don't get bored, don't fall asleep. I'm going somewhere, okay? But when we kind of land the plane, hopefully when all this is said and done, this keynote gives you guys an idea of why we're here, why it's important to do this, and this doesn't need to be the one and only time that we come together as an industry to do this. We have opportunity to do this every day that we wake up and we have breath. With a little planning, we can do it, okay? All right, so I look around this room, and I see people who are a part of design teams. You guys are involved in relocating utilities. We have contractors here who are building Georgia's infrastructures. We've got we've got engineering experts and experts in accommodation. We've got Georgia 811, and we've got tech visionaries who are focused on digitizing our workflows. Today, we meet not because we're stewing over plans or project delays or something like that. Today we meet because we have a shared mission. And in my opinion, that's to keep Georgia the #1 state for business, which this has been our 12th year running of being the #1 state in business. What that means for me is, and what that may mean for you guys, if Georgia is leading the way in being this economic powerhouse, everybody in this room benefits from it. Our families benefit from it. Generations to come will benefit from the things that we're doing today. It's legacy. And in my opinion, that's probably one of the most important things we can aspire to in life, because when we leave here, right, all of our efforts will end. But if we build a legacy that extends beyond our lifetime, then we really done something, all right? I can see some of the heads nodding, and you guys are like, oh yeah, this is getting really good. All right, stay with me. In my opinion, this is a testament to what happens when we build better together. It shows that our success isn't measured in miles of asphalt or the number of bridges or projects that we build, but in the strength of the partnerships that forge them. So I want to talk a little bit about accountability. So every year, GDOT gives an accountability and investment report to our legislators so that we're transparent about everything that we're doing across the transportation sector. So in 2025, we delivered a record of $1.9 billion in total projects led. So we're not maintaining the status quo. We're working to move the needle and accelerate delivery. When it comes to bridge quality, we remain a leader in bridge health. We've got 8,700 bridges in 2025 that had gone through a rigorous level of inspection, and $780 million invested in bridge upgrades, ensuring that our structures remain, that 73% of our structures remain in good condition, despite the wear and tear of a growing economy and state. So let's talk a little bit about safety. We have a highway safety improvement program that's dedicated $157 million specifically to safety projects. So we aren't just building roads, we're building a safer environment for Georgians. Let's talk about maintenance. We've allocated $576 million towards maintenance. And sometimes maintenance can seem like it's unglamorous work. It really doesn't get the attention that it needs. But every resurfacing project, resurfacing project with patching and preservation, these are all assets that we're able to maintain and extend the life of the system by at least 25 years. So from an accountability perspective, we're doing things to move the needle. Now let me talk about innovation. So in 2025, we had a freight and logistics implementation plan that takes a look 25 to 30 years out ahead to strategically figure out ways for us to invest in freight so that we can double capacity by the year 2050. To meet that, we injected almost $500 million into Georgia's freight program to be able to do it. Let's talk about electric innovation. I know some of you may have heard of our NEVI program, our National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, and how that's moved forward. So far, we've been able to put out our first round of NEVI projects, Tifton, Byron, Brunswick, that are being built out now. And we actually have another round that's touching close to 30 different locations that'll have the quote-unquote refueling station of the future. Let's talk about digital delivery and technology. We're leveraging AI and automation to improve a lot of things. Yes, we're doing it for things such as freight flow, but we're also doing it in the utilities arena and community as well. Of course, 4M is at the forefront of that utility AI conflation model that helps us with our day-to-day task of conceptually identifying utilities that are in the right-of-way. So whether it's us using AI to help make our jobs better, or installing fiber along our interstates, or trying to increase capacity for truck parking, ultimately we're using data to solve real-world bottlenecks that cost our system and our users time. So now, let's talk about what we can do as a group, as various committees, industries, and SMEs to move to action. Again, the banner here is Build Better Together, all right? But here's the challenge. In order for us to build better together, it requires partnership. It requires work. Accountability, that's a two-way street, right? So I may have an idea of something that works, and it may not align with your idea of something that works. But collectively, if we continue to work, we'll get to a solution. You know, I was always told if you're in a disagreement, the person that leaves unhappy is probably the right answer. The goal being, when you have a disagreement and there are two people having a discussion, if you both leave unhappy, you've landed at the right answer. The point is, compromise is not something that is optional, it's vital to being able to achieve success. So, for our contractors, your hard work, dedication, and efficiency is what helps us hit our goal in delivering a robust transportation system for the future. To our utility partners, your partnership and early coordination is key to preventing delays and helping us accelerate project delivery. To our consultants, your expertise in all facets of design, subsurface utility engineering, utility coordination, construction engineering and inspection, et cetera, are vital to our success. For our local government partners, with our increase in state funding for local roads and your partnership on high-impact infrastructure projects that we no longer deliver, but you guys deliver on our behalf, all of these things are working together to move the needle. And to our tech partners, we need you to help us move the needle, challenge the status quo, and position our industries to remain leaders for decades to come. Remember, this is about legacy, right? It's not about what we get to reap from all of our efforts right now. It's about our families, our kids, generations to come, Georgians, decades from now, who will benefit from things that we're doing today. So, in closing, and I'm not gonna close like a pastor, right? This is not gonna be 3 close, this is gonna be 1. I know we got pastors in the room. Please don't corner me after we leave. I mean well, okay? In closing, all the information that I shared on the stats and things of that nature really just points to the fact that Georgia is winning, and winning is a good thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a Bulldogs fan or a Jackets fan, winning still feels good. But we don't win by looking in the rearview mirror. We don't win by looking at successes we've had in the past. We don't win by looking behind us. We win by looking through the windshield at the Georgia that people are proud to call home. A Georgia where we have an economy that positions our families and generations after us for success. The great poet and car pioneer Henry Ford once said, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success." When we align our goals, utilities, government, and various industries, we don't just build roads, we build opportunity. So let's get to work. Let's build better together. Thank you.